Welcome to Twisted Tendrils, the podcast where we give horrific writing advice. I am your host, Laura Nettles. Welcome to episode 1 of Twisted Tendrils, horrific writing advice. I am your host, Laura Nettles. As this is the very beginning, I thought we could do a little get to know me, as well as my hopes and dreams for this perilous adventure of a podcast. Now, you might be wondering, who is Laura Nettles? And why do they love horror so much? That, my dear friends, we shall delve into. Now, I'm a California girl who went to Brigham Young University in Utah to study lighting and animation. After graduating, I moved up here to Canada where I light visual effects for films and TV shows. Think set extensions, CG weapons, creatures, and crazy weather storms. The most recent one I worked on that has been released was Spider-Man: No Way Home. I've mostly worked on horror productions though, such as The Strain, Come Play, and 2 Resident Evil movies, The Final Chapter and Welcome to Raccoon City. Other projects include Guillermo del Toro's films The Shape of Water and Nightmare Alley. I love his color palettes and creatures. So that's the day job. On the writing front, I have 11 horror pieces published in anthologies or online magazines. They range from 100-word drabbles and 1,000-word flash fictions to short stories about 5,000 words long. I'm currently querying a middle-grade horror novel to literary agents. This book is my triumph over the childhood trauma inflicted by Goosebumps' Stay Out of the Basement. Plant people can eat salt. I've gotten a couple rejections, so I'm currently revamping it to amp the voice up to 11. The thesaurus and childlike imagination are my friends. Now, why horror? Is it more than just blood and guts? Yes. Yes, it is. I was not allowed to watch much horror growing up as it gave me vivid nightmares. My furniture would morph into dinosaurs fighting to the bloody death while I tried to sleep. Not pleasant times, for me or my mother. I did get to watch When a Stranger Calls and Psycho once I was in high school, though. The transition from the car grill getting pulled out of the swamp to Anthony Perkins' face terrified me with the superimposed skull. And yet, I would watch these movies over and over again. I would survive them. Eventually I made it up here to Toronto where I was working on horror movies without much knowledge of the classics being referenced in dailies. Some movies, like John Carpenter's The Thing, were shown after hours in one of the screening rooms, popcorn included. While waiting for shots to work on, I would fill my downtime with watching oldies like Carrie, Alien, Predator, The Terminator, and others, slowly expanding my repertoire, surviving each tale after jumping in my seat a few times, falling in love with the genre. If these normal people could survive horrors beyond my own life experience, I could tackle my own hardships and come out on top too. Some monsters were sympathetic, like Frankenstein's monster or the Wolfman, railing against their makers, society, or their own conditions. Other monsters were pure evil with no reachable empathy. I learned to recognize the difference. Then I started to get into writing. My first story was a young adult sci-fi, which is now permanently shelved. It taught me a lot, though, and I found an excellent critique partner through it. Thank you, Elaine. While working on later drafts, I would add more horror elements into the story to add drama and suspense. Eventually, I moved on to other pure horror projects. While studying writing craft on YouTube, I came across an interview with the author Sacha Black. That's Sasha spelled S-A-C-H-A. She enlightened my mind on how to write the 5 senses. Her book, The Anatomy of Prose, 12 Steps to Sensational Sentences, was coming out. I bought it and devoured every page. My writing style developed, and I improved leaps and bounds. One suggestion was to try the certain thing called flash fiction. I gave it a go. I was transformed. I could now turn around on a draft in an hour instead of a month. Each word was carefully chosen and evaluated. Did it deserve to be in this story? My first flash piece was 294 words called Cthulhu Rises. For you see, I had been exposed to the wonders of cosmic horror, and I was hooked. The next piece I wrote was about a Lovecraftian homeowners association in an unsuspecting neighborhood. It was called Neighbors and maxed out at 513 words. My unsatiable appetite for the horror short form of fiction was born. Short doses to make you think, feel, and reevaluate. Since then, I've dabbled in 100-word drabbles about cracks in space helmets, scarecrows watching humans hunt humans, teeth replaced with zipper implants, and a girl who is different, abandoned by her mother in the drafty attic where she can hear her own mother lamenting to her gossiping friend, "If only I had a daughter." Drabbles hold a special place in my heart. You cut right to the heart of a story, no extra limbs required, pure feeling. I expanded my worlds again slightly, with short stories varying from Victorian Gothic London to the soot-lined labyrinth tunnels where humanoids hid from writhing, skittering soot mavens hunting by sound and feel. So, why horror? It makes me feel alive, lets me look at those who are different from me in a new light, see what others have survived so I can too, as well as be entertained. 'Cause really, who doesn't like entertainment? On to my hopes and dreams for this podcast. I have brainstormed a few episodes to record in the future. Here's the list so far. General horror writing advice. Micro horror story readings. The art of flash fiction. Crafting drabbles. Refilling the creative well. Dealing with burnout. Horror subgenres. Analyzing our favorite passages. Creating our own style Bibles. Interviews with other writers. Please let me interview. Analyzing horror movies, so we can incorporate their successful elements into our own writing. More than jump scares, how to traumatize your reader. The sympathetic versus pure evil monsters, what each bring to the table. Fogging up the atmospherics. Disney's Haunted Mansion, how to blend genres. And maybe even one on extreme horror for you splatterpunk fans. So that's it. Come follow along. We can hold hands if you're scared, but we got this. Together, we can pen tales that terrify. You have been listening to Twisted Tendrils, Horrific Writing Advice by Laura Nettles.